Hey team, and welcome to our leg workout today. So we're going to start off with one red spring or one heavy spring if you have a different reformer. We're going to start with legs in straps. So laying on our back, putting one foot in each of the straps. We're going to start with leg lifts, so feet together, legs straight. And we're going to go up and down. So trying to keep our feet together the whole time and the legs as straight as possible. So as we pull down, we only go down to where we can keep our core engaged. And then on the way up, you want to think about pressing your tailbone into the carriage. So we try not to let our bum lift up off the carriage. And deep breath out as you pull down. So exhale and then inhale to lift back up. Alright, so now we're going to do leg circles. So same thing, doesn't matter how wide our legs are going, as long as we're keeping our core engaged the whole time and our legs as straight as possible. So out wide, we're going to pull down, feet meet back in the center, and we pull back up. So for this direction, we go exhale, pull down, inhale as the legs come back up through the center. We're trying to keep our core engaged, especially when our legs are down towards the bottom. And now we'll go our opposite way. So legs are down the center first, then they separate and coming back up towards you. And then they meet back up at the top in the center to pull down again. That's it, we're nearly there for these ones. Just warming up our hip joints for the rest of our workout. Alright, so now we're going to do diamonds. So our heels together, toes turned out for 45, like our froggy position. And we're keeping a diamond shape within our legs. So we're squeezing our heels together to keep everything engaged. So inner thighs, hamstrings. And we're pulling down like the leg lift position you did in our first exercise. So you're going to keep that diamond shape for the whole thing. So try not to move our knees from that start position. And really squeezing through the heels as you pull down, breathing out and inhale to come back up. Alright, legs are nice and warmed up now. We're going to pop our straps behind us, sitting up, and we're going to change our springs. So we're going to add one medium and one light spring for scooter. We're going to stand on one side of our reformer, so one foot on the bolster. You can hold on if you need to, otherwise hands are going to be on your hips. We're going to press that back leg out, keep it straight, sinking back, and then standing up. So as you stand up, you're pressing through the heel that's on the floor, and the back leg will come in. As we do scooter, you can think of it like a 4-part movement. So back leg, then you sink down, stand up through the front leg, and that back leg comes back in again. We're trying to keep our hip bones towards the front of our reformer, engaging through our lower core and trying to relax through our upper body as much as possible. We're now going to pulse nice and slow. So pulsing mainly through the front leg, keeping that back leg as straight as you can. So think about squeezing the quad and the glute, and we're going to hold down there for 10 seconds. Focusing on our gentle inhale and exhale, and coming back in. Shake it out if you need to. Our next one, our foot is going to be turned out. So we're externally rotating from the hip. Same as that first scooter position. So pressing out and back in. So this exercise gets your glutes a lot more and your hamstrings as well. So press out, sink down, and really press through that heel at the front to stand back up. As you can see, I sort of shift my weight backwards whilst I'm standing up through the front leg, and that just helps me to feel it a lot more through the hamstring and the glute. And especially with this one, you really want to work on keeping our hip bones towards the front, because sometimes, depending on our mobility, that foot turned out doesn't feel so great if we're a bit tight in that area. So now we're going to pulse in that position again. So nice and slow. So trying to keep that knee tracking out over our toes, and our back leg as straight as we can. And we're holding there for 10 seconds now. Breathing, keeping our core engaged, so that's going to help keep us nice and balanced. Coming in, feel that burn on the legs there already. We get to even it up now. So whenever you're ready, we're going to have our foot back in our neutral position. So that first one we did, going through our scooter. So back leg straight as we sink back and down, and then standing up through the front leg. Nice and strong. Holding on if you need to. Working to keep our hip bones towards the front of our reformer. Engaging through our lower core. That left leg is probably burning. Alright, now we're going to do our pulses through our right leg. So 10 of those, and we're going to hold for 10 seconds now. Really trying to keep that same position for the 10 seconds. Try not to move the carriage, and coming in from there. Shake your legs out if you need to, and then we're going to go into our externally rotated position. So that right leg is going to be turned out, and then going through our scooter again. So back leg straight, press back, standing up really through that heel of that right leg. Sending your hips back as you stand up, if you're not feeling it as much through the glutes. So going nice and slow, working through your full range as best you can. And then we're going to pulse here. So nice and slow with the pulses as well, trying to go up and down rather than leaning forward and backwards through the pulsing, and holding for 10 seconds. Nice gentle breathing. And coming in there. Awesome work. Feel that burn. Alright, so now we're just going to put our foot bar all the way down. We're going to keep our one medium and one light spring. We're going to do some glute glides. So heels together as close as you can. So one's going to be on the foot plate, one's going to be on the carriage. Toes turned out to 45 and legs are straight. So as you push away, you're pushing through your heels and then controlling on the way back in. So as we control back in, you should be using your glutes to do that. So the springs just want to come in super fast, so you want to try bring it in as slow as you can and then pressing away with straight legs. So we're going to do 12 of these ones, and then on our next one we're going to press out. Might need to change your foot position if you need to do some squats. So pressing through the foot that's on the carriage to press out, and then you're pulling back in each time. So going down into that full squat, whatever that may look like for you, keeping a nice upright position through the chest. So we don't want any rounding through our back. Controlling on the way back up. So we're working through 12 of those. We're nearly there. And this is our last one. And then we're going to do 20 pulses. So we're trying not to move the reformer while we're pulsing. So just little pulses is fine. You'll be feeling the burn through the legs. Keeping that upright posture through the spine. Holding your hands wherever feels comfortable for you as well. Out in front on your hips is totally fine. And pulling back in. So changing to our other side. So always standing on that foot plate to spin around. Pressing out. So evening that up. So keeping a nice upright posture while we do this as well. So pressing away, controlling back in. So we're pressing through those heels and slowly coming back in. Alright, it's our last one. Now we're going to move your feet for our squats if you need to. Pressing down, slowly coming back up. So nice and controlled. Each time. So we're trying not to move the carriage when we're actually in that bottom of the squat. Controlling it back up. Really engaging through the core here. And you want to do these nice and slow. So no need to rush them. Then we're going to go into our squat pulses now. So 20 of these, just nice and slow. Up and down, trying not to move the carriage too much. Making sure that we're breathing while we're doing this one. And coming in, awesome work. Coming off the reformer now. We're going to change to one medium spring, so we'll take the light spring off. If that's a little bit too hard, you can do just one light spring. We're going to stand inside our reformer now, one foot on the carriage, and we're going to pull it towards us and controlling back out. So with this, we're trying to keep our body over that stabilizing leg, so the foot that's on the floor. We want to keep that straight, so that foot will just naturally want to turn out. So we want to keep it directly facing the reformer. Engaging through our core, this is really good for our hip stability. Pulling in through that foot, so the whole foot wants to stay on the reformer. And just nice and controlled with these ones. So you can hold on to something like a broomstick or a handle or anything that's close to you if your balance isn't as great or you haven't done it before. If you haven't done it before, you can go to the lightest spring, so just one light spring is perfect. And we'll change to that other side. So same again, engaging through the core, keeping our nice upright posture, so trying to relax through the upper body as well, so just working through that lower body area. Keeping that bottom leg straight, so the foot that's on the floor, we want to keep that leg as straight as we can. Pulling in each time. Good job. Alright, so we're going to step out of our reformer now. We're going to change our springs. So we're going to put 3 heavy springs on and we're going to do some footwork. So for me, that's 3 reds. We're going to put our bar all the way back up and then we're going to lay down. So you can make it easier by taking some springs off, or you can make it harder by adding some. Heels are hip width apart and we're pressing through the heels. So 15 of these, full extension, and we're in that neutral spine position, engaging through our lower core. Breathing out as we press away and then inhaling to come back in. So as we're going in and out, trying to keep the toes up towards us as best you can, depending on our ankle mobility and strength. And now we're going to pulse it halfway for 15. So working through that middle range now. That's it. And now we're going to hold there for 15 seconds. So this is where you really want to focus on that breathing. So try not to breath hold. Inhale and exhale. Just nice and gently. So try not to force it too much. And then pressing all the way out. We're going to change onto our toes now. So pressing onto your toes, pretending like you have lovely high heels on. So as we press away, lock the legs out, then we drop the heels under for a calf stretch or a calf raise. You can hang down in that position a little bit longer if it feels nice and you want to stretch. Otherwise, we're just going to do 15 of these, working through that full range. So as we're on our toes, we're really pressing through the balls of all the toes. Dropping the heels down as much as you can. So you can go as slow as you want or you can go faster. It's totally up to you. We're nearly there with these ones. Legs are probably starting to burn now. Alright, we're going to pulse it halfway, so on our toes. So pretending like those high heels are on. And we're pulsing in that mid-range. That's it. And then we're going to hold there for 15 seconds. That's it. Breathing nice and slowly. And pressing out. Alright. Have a little break if you need to. Heels are on the bar now, out wide. Toes out to 45. So we're in that wide squat position. Pressing through the heels. Gently squeeze your glutes as you press away. So full lock out of the legs each time as much as you can. So 15 of these, we're nearly there. And then we're going to get ready for our pulses. Alright, let's go. Let's pulse now for 15. Working in that mid-range. Pressing through the heels nice and strong. And then we're going to hold. So holding in that mid-range, focusing on our breathing. It's really going to burn now. So we're almost there. Holding that position. Try not to move too much. Awesome work, guys. Alright, this is our last one of our leg series, laying down. So on our toes, and then heels are glued together, so froggy. We're still pressing up onto our toes. As we come in, the knees are going out. And then as we press up, it's like they're getting zipped together. So from the bottom to the top, so from our ankles all the way up to our pelvis. Like you're zipping it up and then opening it again. So 15 of these. And then we're going to pulse it halfway now. That's it, nearly there. Now we're going to get ready for our hold. So our last hold. Holding at that halfway point. Breathing gently. That's it. Feel the burn now. And relax there. Ooh, that's a good one. Alright, so now we're going to do our hip flexor and hamstring stretch. So I like to do this one on one medium spring. But you can do whatever suits you. If you need a little bit more support, you can make it a bit heavier. We're going to kneel onto our carriage. One foot's going to go up onto our foot bar. Hands on. And then from here, we're going to think about tucking the tail under. So your tailbone under, squeeze your bum. Now that opposite hand to the leg is going to go up and over for that extra stretch if you would like it. And then hand goes back on, and then we're going to press away as much as you can depending on your hamstring flexibility. hold in there for a nice deep breath. So do about 3 of those. You can hold longer if you like. And then slowly coming in there. Changing legs. So other foot goes up. Hands on. And then you're going to think about tucking tailbone under. Hand goes up and over if you want a little bit more of a stretch. And then hand goes back on and we're going to press away. So nice gentle breathing. We're nearly done. And then you can slowly come back in. Take your foot off there. Awesome work, team. You are done.